Every single year we try to focus, of course, our American wine are extremely important with everything that's happening in the world. Let's go to start with global warming, huge issue everywhere, including the US. Tariff for mostly European wine, nothing so far for American, that is fantastic. And opening up of some countries that haven't produced any wine, but because of the global warming now, grapes can grow and produce some wine with nice soil, and more wine from everywhere in the world. So we need here in the US fight against everything around us to be incredible good and good value. So we do have the California style, yes, more and more small, tiny region near Napa Valley will produce a very good wine, but I do believe if it's not at the same level, maybe not too far or getting better and better, we are, of course, in the state of Oregon, right? If you are a wine lover, if you do love Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, you're going to love the state of Oregon. So the state of Oregon is pretty large, it's 290 miles. Today, we're going to focus on the west part of the state of Oregon called Willamette Valley. Alors, Willamette Valley, they produce wine from the 1960, 1970. At the beginning, it's not a long time ago, 50 years plus. It was maybe 5 wineries produce wine over there, 35 acres of vine, so very small. Now we're talking about 19,000 acres of vine. So just to let you know what represents Willamette Valley for all the state of Oregon, 50 to 60% of the wine of Oregon come from Willamette Valley. And why Willamette Valley is so popular and popular for one specific reason is the quality and value. Okay? But if you really think about where is located in Earth, okay, Oregon and Willamette Valley, they are on the 47 north parallel. So if I'm turning around, you're going to be on 45, and on 47, you do have Burgundy. Now we're talking about Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and we are talking about Burgundy. So basically, they do have almost the same climate, cool climate. So that is number one. Okay? Number two, what is the link between Willamette Valley, Oregon, and Burgundy? The soil. Burgundy, 10 different types of soil, is unique in the world. But in Willamette Valley, you have 2 very major soils that are unique in a row. One is called Willackenzie, is a marine sediment, and the other one is volcanic soil called Laurie. Okay, so what mean sediment, marine sediment and volcanic is a straight nutrition to the vine, and that is unique. As I said, most of the winery at the beginning start 60, 70. All the ones that we are testing here are between 70 and 80. And I want to make sure you understand the point of that is most of these grapes are between 40 to 50 years old. So 50 years old, very, very, very long roots who can get different type of nutrition. Okay? Let's go to start with the first one. Oh my God, I didn't even pour it. Great. Here we are. It's missing a wine. Here is what very, very funny. All right. First one is one of this type of winery who start in 75, 77, the Ponzi, and I didn't want to choose a traditional Chardonnay. I wanted to give you a Pinot Gris because Willamette Valley or Oregon is not only as well Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, even so is a high level. Look at the color. Smell it. Here is unique on the way of the winemaking is a skin contact fermentation. All right, is unusual to see that, and especially in Oregon or Willamette Valley. And is the reason why I wanted you to test it tonight. Now, when we talk about Pinot Gris, of course, people think sometimes, oh, is it a Pinot Grigio? Absolutely not. Let's go to remove that from your head. Pinot Gris is a Pinot Gris, is a very beautiful grapes that you will find most of the time in Europe, in some of area where it's a little bit colder than usual, okay? Germany, a lot of Pinot Gris. Austria, you do have Alsace in France. But here is a different style. I'm going to have a little test as well.
Is it acidity, which is...
Alors, what you do have here is a blend of the acidity, of course, straight from the Pinot Gris, okay? And the age of the vine, you do have an incredible minerality. So you have a combine of acidity grapes, minerality soil. We're talking about here, I don't have my glasses, but it must be close to the 13.5 or 13.3. Okay. 13.3 is a perfection for me when we talk about balance. Balance will be the number one term when we talk about Burgundy. Okay? Elegance, finesse, exactly what we're having here. Nothing with oak, not 15 or 16 alcohol content that you cannot test anything. Tonight, the testing will be based with elegance and finesse. Straight from the vine to the soil to the bottles. There is no makeup on tonight wine. All the wine that we are testing tonight are organic. Organic is two different stages. One, on a vineyard, no pesticide or herbicide, and the minimum possible of sulfate. Okay? Some of these wines, 3 of them here, are biodynamic. It means the self-sufficiency of the nutrition of the soil with only compost. Compost, compost, and compost. And they have been doing that since day one. Oh, by the way, we should say a hello and a congratulations to the state of Oregon to be the #1 state regarding to wine to be organic, the highest percentage. In fact, they have the same percentage of organic wine than the Loire Valley in France. So, good job for that. Alors, the AVA in wine term in the US is very important. AVA, American Viticultural Area. Very important for Burgundy, Bordeaux, Rhone Valley. But for the US, it becomes more and more and more important. What is AVA? We have 15 people here, okay? Each of you are a different AVA. What does it mean? Here to here, different soil, different climate, okay? Very specific one, specific climate and specific soil. In fact, you are the best of the best area to produce wine. Very important for you when you choose a wine in a supermarket or you are in a restaurant. Do not be afraid to ask, is it a AVA, yes or no? Is the highest classification for the US is the AVA. Alors, in all the US, I believe, is 275 AVA. For the state of Oregon is 23, and only Willamette Valley, they do have 11. You're going to test 4 of them tonight. Okay?
Are there different standards for different AVAs?
Alors, it depends. Sometimes it could be more Lorisol, some of them is more Willia Kenzie. It depends as well to the location. Okay. All right, if you are southeast, it means you're going to get more sun than southwest. All right, so the indication is top on every single possible. So is the soil, climate, and grapes.
No, what I'm curious about is like, in Italy, DOCG can be, there's DOCGs for Amarones, DOCGs for Barolos, DOCGs for Brunellos. So is it similar to AVAs where it's just a kind of a grade?
Alors, AVA is equal of a DOCG for an example, Italy, AOC for France. Right. Correct, yes. It's a classification, is the highest. Alors, let's go to smell the first one. What do we smell here? Is more on the fruit, is more on the grapefruit. Okay.
A little bit of pear.
Pear, absolutely. You feel the minerality is there. Green apple, definitely. More and more and more, in fact. When I was talking before about a perfect balance between acidity, grapes, minerality, soil, of course, we need to include the alcohol content. But here we are close to the 13%. Okay? So it's nothing very aggressive. It's very, I will say, pleasant. All right?
It even tastes a little bit more sweet.
There is a little, or you test a little touch of sweetness. You are 100% right, because for me, it's missing 1 or 2 degrees, a little bit colder. So when the wine is a good temperature for me, because I want to test the wine, if it's too cold, unfortunately, you will test less acidity and minerality. So when the wine is not spectacular, especially in a restaurant, they have a tendency to serve it a little bit colder. Like that, you test nothing. It's the reason why Burgundy, Bordeaux, Rhône, room temperature. For the white, we are at 55, 60. For us, is the best temperature. I love it. It's very refreshing. There is not like too much alcohol. It's balanced, it's elegant, it's spring, summer type of wine. I don't need to have every single time something with a lot of alcohol or a wine who aged with a new oak at all the time. No. That is a perfect wine to start the evening with or without food. Love it. Any comment on this wine? Alors, the sulfate is when you transfer why we use it, number one, and when we use it. Why we use it is to kill any kind of bacteria that you're going to have inside of a tank or inside of a barrel before we transfer the juice into it. So it takes maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds. It becomes anaerobie, so no more oxygen for 5, 6, 7 seconds. So no more oxygen, no more bacteria. and at this time they transfer the wine. So if you add a little bit too much, it will stay on the barrel or it stay in a standing still. It will be straight on a contact with the wine and it's not good for us. You're not going to feel it right away. If you have a huge headache the day after, 90% of the time it could be a bad wine or it could be too much sulfate. So, matter of fact, it's very good point, by the way. You can see that if you open your bottle of wine and you have yellow crystal. Okay, that is an indication of two things: or too much sulfate, or your white wine has been stored somewhere too long, too cold. So the wine going to react is going to shoot some tartric acidity and it become all crystal. People think, oh my God, in my white wine, I do have some sediment. There is no sediment. There is no tannin in your white wine. So you cannot have sediment. It's just your wine has been stored somewhere where it's too cold for too long. Same thing when it's too hot. The wine push the cork out and the wine get out. It's called coulure. It's too hot. So too hot, the wine react. Too cold, the wine react. But to go back to your subject, before we transfer the wine inside of barrel or standing still to kill any kind of bacteria. Sorry?
They don't use it in the vineyard.
No, no, sulfate, no. Herbicide, yes, in a vineyard, correct. Now the biodynamic, all right, is in a vineyard, is to give the nutrition to the vine with only compost. Understand something. These people in Oregon, most of them are organic since day one, since 1970. Okay, you go to Spain, Portugal, France, Italy. They have been making wine since the 1st century. You get to a certain time and certain area where the quality was not the goal. The quantity was the goal. So what they were doing? Pesticide, and more grape. They didn't care, but they killed the soil. It takes you basically a full generation to go back to neutral zero after 30 years of putting pesticide in a soil. One full generation to go back to zero. You went to Barolo. I have a long discussion with one of the best winemakers. His father was putting a lot of pesticide. So his generation put nothing. His daughter now having a vineyard with zero. It's just neutral, so good. But it takes 30 years. Any question before we move to, you understand here? Why do we have the Willamette Valley here? Okay, the Jury, volcanic, Williamkenzie, marine sediment, perfect. Nekia, there is a little bit less than these two here. But very simple, 7,700 years ago, a volcanic eruption happened in the state of Oregon, and all the lava moved to the west side. And that is where they created, because of the geology, study of the soil, they saw that all the lava went on the west part, and that is an incredible nutrition for the vine. Talking about that, let's go on the first red wine here. Bottom right. On the right of your white wine, basically. Yeah, exactly. Here you are in Eola Amity Hill. That is one of the 11 AVA. You do have, is an estate. They produce 8 different wine, is a pretty small estate. We do have like 20 to 30 acres of vine. Alors, I wanted to show you right away what a classical Pinot Noir from Oregon is, and especially here from one of the 11 AV. Again, link between the Pinot Gris and the Pinot Noir is again elegance and finesse. I love the color. You see the color? I love it. It's a 22 vintage. First question you're going to ask me, Olivier, you said that Willamette Valley is extremely close to Burgundy. Does it age as long as a Burgundy? All right. Not necessary. Why? Because you do have a little bit less tannin in the Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley or Oregon. So that you feel more the freshness that you do have tannin. So it's not too much complexity, but it's still extremely balanced, fruit forward.
Is it less tannin because it's a larger grape?
Or less tannin because you do have, is the same, basically kind of the same Pinot Noir that we do have in a Burgundy. It's just a different soil. Okay.
Ripen's different.
What?
Do you think it ripens different because?
Yes. And you cannot use for this type of Pinot Noir oak like in Burgundy. You will see in Pommard, Vol-Romanée, or Chambol-Musigny. No, you don't need it. You don't need that. It's all about the freshness and the elegance and the balance. Now, don't make me wrong. We can have Willamette Valley and Oregon with more character and more body. Yes, they do have it. But tonight I didn't want to show you that. I want to show you what I do believe now and in the next 20 years we're going to talk about Willamette Valley, Oregon, is the finesse and the elegance. Because we are losing, everywhere we are losing the finesse and elegance in the wine. We have to go back with that.
I grew up in Almaden Valley.
Ah,
Yeah.
so you know.
You still have it here. I pass by it and all the time.
Fruity, soft. There is nothing dry at the end. Or it may be light, but it is what is in Oregon and Willamette Valley. They will produce a wine on the same style, and the three other wine testing will be basically kind of the same, but with a different flavor. A wine like that for me, 4, 5, 6 years will be great. It's a very good question. The reason why I will say will not be more than 5 to 6 years is because the level of tannin is not high enough. Again and again and again is a style. Okay, they make a style of wine like that, and I do love this style. There is, alors here they use neutral oak. So there is no 1, 2 or 3 heavy burning, not is neutral. Perfect. Exactly what I like. You feel it, but not too much. Again, is another wine with,
Same percentage of weight.
how many? How much?
13.3.
13.3. Okay, basically like the white. It's almost impossible now, everywhere in the world, to find a 13.3 red wine. 14, 15, 16, 17, and people say, oh my God, it's great. How can you tell me it's great at 17% alcohol? Drink a scotch. All right, go to your scotch. Is perfect. Unless and okay.
There's some Amarones that are 17%.
Is exactly what I will say. Now, if I know that I'm going to have an Amarone, 16-17% alcohol with a 15 to 20 years of age, where the alcohol content match with the maturity, who's going to give me some different flavor, that I'm okay. I was referring to young vintage as 16 and 17 and is undrinkable. Even, and I'm big champagne lover, even in champagne with the global warming now, more and more champagne losing the finesse and the elegance. They are more and more body oriented. There is nothing that you can do. Temperature go up every single year. Is it a difference between a 22 to a 23? Even in the state of Oregon, there is a variation, yes, but much less than, as an example, much less than Paso Robles, as an example, or Santa Rita, or Sonoma Coast, Sonoma Valley, little bit less. But from a year to another one, you can have an increase as well of the cost. You can have more demand of the wine. Willamette and Oregon are on the top list of American wine. In Europe, people buy more Willamette Valley wine because they say, wow, it's unbelievable quality, more than they're doing in Napa Valley. You go in Paris, as an example, you open the wine list, I bet you have more wine from Oregon than you do have from Napa. Oh, but yes, people like this style of wine. There is a little variation, but I will say 2021, 22, 23, I haven't had one bad wine, maybe a little bit less concentration, because from an average vintage to an exceptional vintage, it will be the hour of sun and less rain. So you will feel more on the density of the character of the wine, so much lighter. Alors, the first one, Pinot Gris. Now we're going a little bit with, let's go to slowly. I want to start with Domaine Drouhin from another AVA, Dundee Hill. Alors, they have been making wine since late 80s, 1987, but even so, they start to make one in 1987. Domaine Drouhin is, I will say, maybe one, if he's not the most well-known winery in Burgundy, right? So they went to Oregon because right away in 80s they understood that the area is just gold for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Alors here you do have a little bit more concentration. I tested it last week, but you can see, you just, perfect as usual. You can see the color, there is a more concentration. And now if I'm looking at the color, let's go to look here on the side, the tears or the legs, one of the two. Look at that, you have much more than the first one. So here, what does it mean? More, here you are, more sugar, more sun, more sugar, more alcohol. So now we're going to have a little bit more complexity on the taste and on the nose. Let's go to smell it. Ah, but the smell is different, obviously. Only 20% of oak here. Only 20%. That's it. Completely different style. Why? We are not in the same area as well. So different type of soil, different altitude. That is one of the AVA, altitude, soil, climate, location. All small, tiny details that make the difference between average and very good. Each different winery do whatever they want, but there is not an obligation to have that. The obligation that you do have is definitely the alcohol content.
Because
by
the
the-
laws in Europe are so different.
Correct. Yes. By the way, the alcohol content in the US, you can lie to to 1.1 above the true or under the true, according to. So, but I don't think so. Here there is too much lie. I believe it's what we're testing is the true, because the way that he tests. Obviously, here 23 is a much younger vintage, so there is a more character that you feel, a little bit more body than the first one, but still the same layout between acidity, minerality, and alcohol is one line. Nothing at the end on your palate, nothing dry. Smooth, velvet tannin. That is what I do love from this region. It's so easy that you can drink the bottle in like 5 minutes. It's true. We do not decant Pinot Noir. No, never. Why? Because it's so light, fragile. It's like a beautiful, I'm not going to use the term woman. I almost say it, but I'm on camera, so I don't want to say that. It's like a nice white peach getting out of the tree. You take it like, oh, gently. All right, gentle. No decantation. No, easy. Open the wine, let it breathe. Oh, by the way, the wine here has been opened 30 minutes before you arrive. 15 minutes before you arrive, I pour the wine. Is enough. Decantation of a wine like that will kill it. Whatever you will buy, you taste absolutely nothing or not too much. It's not the goal of that. Opening up, temperature, more important. The glasses, the glassware, more important.
Yeah, Pinot's usually almost like a white wine glass, right?
Correct. I like this type of shape for a Pinot Noir from Willamette of Oregon. If it was a Pinot Noir from a different country, such as Burgundy, I will ask something a little bit larger, bigger. That is your glass, is your decantation. You do have more and more flavor. When you do have an empty glass and you smell it and you still are full of aroma, it means you did a good job to pick up this wine. And that here, I have it. A lot of fragrance still there. But he's already 23, so he's a pretty young vintage. So he can age without be stressed. You can leave this bottle of wine for 4-5 years. But, is it the goal? Is it what we are looking for when we buy a bottle of wine like that? No. The goal is to have something fresh and elegant. Freshness doesn't match too much with longevity. Freshness is for 1 or 2 years. And that is very important.
So like in a year or two, the aroma.
I will say, from what we have been testing, the 2 first wine, one will be easier to enjoy on the next 2 or 3 years. Can you keep it for 5 years? Yes, but you're going to lose the freshness and you're going to have just the one. So I will say the next 2 to 3 years for the first one, yes. Drouhin, you have a little bit more concentration. It could be to 5 years, but to be honest with you, now to the next 2 years, for me, will be perfect. To age, you need to have a lot of tannin. The tannin is like human being. No art, game over. Less tannin, less longevity. High tannin, longevity in your wine. According to the DNA of the grapes. You do have Pinot Noir, low tannin. You do have Cabernet, more tannin. Syrah, more tannin. Zinfandel, more tannin. That is important to know when you choose the style of wine that you are looking for. Less concentration in the color, correct? Do not forget, when you're looking at the color of the wine, straight away it's going to give you some information of what you're going to smell and of course link about what you're going to test. But that is 90% of the time. You still have 10% where what I just said is not happening. And we were talking just about a wine from Val d'Aoste, where the color is super light, but the nose is very, very, very aggressive on a positive term. But most of the time, indication of the color link with the nose and the taste. Here, as you said, it's a little bit darker. So you still have the freshness, yes, but much less than the previous one. But there is more earthiness. Now we're talking about the soil. That is a wine from straight away volcanic soil. You can smell it. It's there. There is an impact on it. Completely different style of the two first. If you still have a little bit of salami, it's time to have it because the saltiness of the salami will match perfectly with this wine. Or the ricotta, the white cheese. I put ricotta for you guys because it's a neutral cheese. There is not too much flavor. So when you switch from one wine to another one, it gives you some fatness a little bit. Great for your palate to switch to a different wine. 13, so is strong, correct? Is strong on flavor, not necessary in alcohol. And that is a very important subject. That, you remember when we say, can the wine can age? It ages as well according to the soil. That is a perfect example. Here you do have more earthiness, more from the soil. I love it. That is mostly a wine that you will enjoy with the food. Tasting this wine by himself is okay. Tasting the one that I'm telling you with a nice steak, grilled, a little bit of salt and pepper and dry herbs, and you look at the meat, it's very, bloody. Oh my God, and you open a bottle of wine like that? Not easy to have three different styles when you are basically in the same region, but it's the best that I could do for you to show you. And I didn't want to do Chardonnay because we keep going with Chardonnay. It's perfect, I love them, but show you outside of the Pinot or of the Chardonnay, Pinot Gris. Absolutely phenomenal. Sometimes you don't even think about Pinot Gris when you go to a wine store. Allez, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, what is easy to drink? That is why we're doing this tasting tonight with diversity of wine. Pinot Grigio, unfortunately, still as to the date, keep his reputation of 20 to 30 years ago. All right? I promise you, we do have here, and I've been testing a lot of Pinot Grigio, are absolutely incredible. It all depends where they are located. If you're going on a completely north part of Italy, Friuli, Venezia, Alto Adige, you can have some absolutely incredible Pinot Grigio. So we cannot always thinking that, oh, because the Pinot Grigio is going to be average, you do have exceptional Pinot Grigio. It all depends on the winery, the effort that they make to make a good wine. But again, when people at the beginning, 30 years ago in New York, people were looking at a bottle of rosé, they were right away thinking about white Zinfandel with a sweetness and really not good wine. now you're testing some incredible rosé from the US, and they are dry, elegant, not 16% alcohol, but very, very balanced. I believe there is good wine everywhere if the winemaker makes the effort to make it good. As I said, there is a lot of link between Oregon, Willamette, and Burgundy. So, you know, when an example in 1970, when they start to created the 5 winery with the 35 acres of vine, they didn't decide suddenly to say, Pinot Noir. No, there is geology, the study of the soil, and the climate, 1 and 2. According these two, they're going to say, okay, which grape should match perfectly with that? So they brought some people from Europe, say, here will be more Pinot Noir and more Chardonnay. That is the reason why it happened. Now, some of the winery, I will be curious to see if they put Cabernet Sauvignon, other grape, if it will be the same success. To be honest with you, I don't know. But so far, what I know is what they did is perfection. But they did a study of the soil and climate. It was not just like that. Suddenly, everybody put Pinot Noir. Don't forget, 1970 for these people, it was $1 million investment. Is only family winery. So mistake cannot happen here. Europe is not 100% grape from Italy, France or Spain. All the grape become 50% American and 50% of Italy, France and Spain and on and on and on. Because in 1875, Greg, that you should remember that, in 1875, a huge disease destroyed all Europe. It's called phylloxera, correct. The phylloxera destroyed the vine, killed the vine. And they say, wow, that is a big issue. So they came to the US because already they were already making wine here. And they say, how come the vine in the US is not destroyed and all our vines are destroyed? So they came here, pick up grape, analyze the DNA, and they say, interesting. So what they did, they graft the root with the top, so everything underground is American, everything above ground could be France, Italy, Spain, any country in Europe. But so second time you save our ass in Europe, all right? He was with army, now he was with a vine. All right, the next one testing will be a link with what we did tonight because it will be Burgundy. So Burgundy is one of the 2 most prestigious wine tasting that we do during the year. I have to do 4 times a year because there is so much demand for this testing. And after that, I did the first testing that everybody wants to come. Is September 19, it will be Bordeaux. So Burgundy, September 12. September 19, we will do Bordeaux, and that is a very interesting testing. September 26, I do a blind testing, France against Italy. That is a testing that you want to be because it's all fun and on for all the year, every Friday from 6 to 7. So the next one will be Burgundy, Bordeaux, and blind testing France, Italy. All right, I hope so you enjoy everything, guys. You please, thank you. Please use your gift certificate for the wine that is here tonight. Take everything is there. Take as much as you can.